In a single listen, radio can make you laugh, bring you breaking news, and play music to get your day going.
I first thought I might be interested in being in radio when I was probably 12 or 13 years old, hearing songs on the radio, hearing DJs on the radio, cracking jokes, having fun. They loved the music, and I heard those people doing that and just was attracted to the presentation of it all.
My opportunity came because my older brother had gone into radio, and he had lots of connections. And when I decided I wanted to go into radio, my brother said, "Let me introduce you to some people."
I always listened to the radio when I was a kid, and I was the only child, so it was like my bud was the radio, and I listened to the rock stations, and I used to get up on Saturday morning and listen to a show called Dr. Demento, and so I was just kind of drawn to it.
Didn't really think I could be in radio until I was in college and took a radio class, and then taught to us by our professors that this could be a career. This is what a career looks like. And then after college, I didn't know if I'd get a job or not, but I did, and went from there.
When it came time for college, I happened to go to Georgia State University that had a 100,000 watt student radio station that was completely student run. They were playing the really cool stuff and the new music and stuff like that, and I listened to it anyway. So I just went down there and I said, I have no idea what I want to do with my life, but since I'm taking a class here, maybe I could get on the radio station.
I got into radio as a sort of a backup plan to a backup plan to another backup plan. So after looking at different majors and different opportunities, I'm like, I can talk to people and I can be close to music if I'm playing music on the radio and talking to people on the radio, talking to people when we do remote broadcasts or on a stage when we welcome people to a concert, things like that. So I kind of got the best of all worlds by getting into radio.
Springfield loves these radio stations, and these stations serve Springfield too. When something happens that our community needs to know about, we're the first ones to tell them. People rely on us to bring them good music, to help them through their workday, to make sure they have information and fun stuff on the morning shows that they can laugh at and that kind of thing. So I think radio is important to a lot of people for those reasons.
From placing a vinyl on the turntable to a simple click of a button, radio has become more than just a script.
COVID changed everything because we all used to do radio shows from studios at radio stations every day. But with COVID, we had to figure it out. And with the technology, it became better. And so now it's more of a convenience than it is an everyday thing.
There was an art to putting an album on a thing and getting the needle in the right place at the right time when you got 10 seconds and you got to nail it. I don't know. I was proud of doing that.
I've spent the last 11 years of my life living in Phoenix, but if I do a show from my home in Springfield, Missouri, it can sound just as locally connected as if I'm sitting in a radio station in Phoenix, Arizona, because I know that market. I know how to serve that market. I know what they're talking about. I know those intersections. I drove those intersections. I lived that life.
Things have changed a lot, but I can't even imagine doing anything different. The only thing that I might be able to do is like game show host that I think might be fun,
Yeah, I don't think I'd change anything. I love what we've had the chance to do. I've been in radio now for 30-something years. As a person who loves music, I've had the chance to, see some great concerts and meet some cool people. And I met my wife at a radio station. So, I wouldn't change a thing.
I think if I had the opportunity to do it all over again, I absolutely would do this all over again.
If I had any advice to anybody is getting into media, keep your mind open because it changes fast.
If it's radio in particular that you're interested in, get in touch with your local radio stations, find out what needs they may have, find out what resources they may have for you. Radio stations usually are welcoming of anybody who's interested in radio. They may not have a job at the minute for you, but if you get to know the people there, when the jobs come open, they'll know you have interest in it.
Radio has changed and will continue changing, but the connection for the community and music will always remain the same.